Are introverts smarter than extroverts? The surprising truth about intelligence and personality. When people think of intelligence, they often imagine someone sitting quietly in a room, deeply focused, reading books, solving problems, or creating revolutionary ideas. That image alone has fueled one of the internet's most popular personality debates. Are introverts actually smarter than extroverts? It's a fascinating question because introverts are often associated with traits like deep thinking, creativity, introspection, and analytical ability. Many famous scientists, inventors, writers, and innovators throughout history have been described as introverted. But does that automatically mean introverts are more intelligent? Or is this just another personality stereotype that sounds convincing but falls apart under scrutiny? Today, we're diving deep into the science, psychology, and evolutionary theories behind introversion and intelligence to uncover what researchers have actually discovered. And the answer might surprise you. What exactly is an introvert? Before we answer whether introverts are smarter, we first need to understand what introversion really means. Introversion is a personality trait characterized by a stronger focus on internal thoughts and feelings rather than external stimulation. Introverts typically prefer calm environments, smaller social circles, meaningful conversations, and time alone to recharge mentally and emotionally. That doesn't mean introverts hate people, and it definitely doesn't mean they're shy. An introvert can be confident, charismatic, and socially skilled. The difference lies in how they process stimulation. Social interaction tends to drain introverts over time, while solitude helps them recover energy. Extroverts are the opposite. They gain energy from social interaction, excitement, crowds, and external stimulation. Neither personality type is inherently better than the other. They simply process the world differently. But here's where things get interesting. Researchers have repeatedly found small but noticeable links between introversion and certain forms of intelligence. The science behind introversion and intelligence. Several psychological studies suggest there may be a positive correlation between introversion and intelligence. Researchers have found that introverts often score higher in areas like verbal intelligence, vocabulary comprehension, long-term concentration, reflective thinking, analytical reasoning. Introverts also tend to perform well on tasks that require sustained attention and deep focus. And honestly, that makes sense. Think about it. If someone naturally enjoys solitude, they may spend more time reading, learning, practicing skills, analyzing ideas, or engaging in creative hobbies. Over time, those habits can strengthen intellectual development. Introverts also tend to process information more deeply before responding. Instead of reacting immediately, they often reflect, analyze, and evaluate. This reflective thinking style can sometimes make introverts appear more thoughtful or intellectually inclined. But there's an important distinction here. Introversion itself does not automatically create intelligence. Not every introvert is a genius, and not every extrovert lacks intelligence. What researchers are really observing is that some behaviors commonly associated with introversion can support intellectual growth. Why solitude may increase intellectual development. One of the strongest links between introversions comes from the introvert's relationship with solitude. Most introverts genuinely enjoy spending time alone. For many people, being alone feels uncomfortable. But for introverts, solitude often feels calming, productive, and mentally refreshing. And this matters because solitude creates ideal conditions for certain cognitive activities: deep thinking, reflection, reading, creative work, problem solving, skill development. Without constant external stimulation, the brain has more opportunity to process ideas deeply. This is one reason many writers, programmers, researchers, artists, philosophers, and inventors tend to exhibit introverted traits. Solitude allows uninterrupted concentration. And uninterrupted concentration is incredibly valuable in a world filled with distractions. In fact, studies suggest that people who spend more time alone often engage in more self-reflection and introspection. This can improve critical thinking, self-awareness, and emotional understanding. Introverts are also frequently better listeners because they spend more time absorbing information instead of dominating conversations. That ability to carefully observe and process information can contribute to stronger analytical skills. The Savannah Theory, and why intelligent people may prefer solitude. Now, here's where the discussion becomes really fascinating. A 2016 study explored the connection between intelligence, happiness, and social interaction using something called the Savannah theory of happiness. According to this theory, our brains are still partially adapted to the lifestyles of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. Thousands of years ago, humans survived through close social cooperation. Being isolated from the tribe was dangerous. So naturally, social interaction became strongly linked to feelings of safety and happiness. For most people today, spending time with friends still increases life satisfaction. But researchers found something unusual. Highly intelligent individuals showed the opposite pattern. The study suggested that people with higher intelligence often experienced lower life satisfaction when socializing too frequently. In other words, highly intelligent people were sometimes happier spending less time socializing. That sounds remarkably similar to the behavior of many introverts. The theory proposes that intelligent individuals may adapt more easily to environments that differ from our ancestral conditions. While most people feel happiest surrounded by social groups, highly intelligent individuals may feel perfectly comfortable in solitude. This doesn't mean intelligent people dislike others. It simply means they may require less social stimulation to feel fulfilled. And because introverts already prefer lower levels of stimulation, the overlap between introversion and intelligence becomes more noticeable. Why introverts often excel at deep work. Another reason introverts are frequently associated with intelligence is their ability to engage in what psychologists call deep work. Deep work refers to long periods of uninterrupted focus on mentally demanding tasks. This type of concentration is essential for scientific breakthroughs, writing books, learning difficult skills, solving complex problems, creating innovative ideas. Extroverts often thrive in collaborative and fast-paced environments filled with interaction and stimulation. Introverts, on the other hand, are usually more comfortable working independently for extended periods. That ability to tolerate and even enjoy long stretches of concentration can provide enormous advantages in intellectual and creative fields. In many cases, the modern world rewards visibility, networking, and constant communication. But some of humanity's greatest ideas were developed quietly, behind closed doors, in solitude. Are introverts more creative? Interestingly, introverts are also often linked to creativity. Why? Because creativity frequently requires introspection. Writers, musicians, filmmakers, artists, and inventors spend huge amounts of time inside their own minds. They reflect deeply, imagine possibilities, analyze emotions, and connect abstract ideas. Introverts naturally spend more time in this internal mental space. That doesn't mean extroverts aren't creative. Many absolutely are. But introverts may be more drawn towards solitary creative processes. This is especially true in fields where independent thinking matters more than group collaboration. Another strange pattern researchers have noticed is the relationship between intelligence and being a night owl. Many introverts prefer nighttime because it provides something they deeply value. At night, the world becomes quieter. There are fewer distractions, fewer social demands, less noise, and lower sensory stimulation. For introverts who become overwhelmed by crowded environments or constant activity, nighttime can feel mentally liberating. Some studies suggest that more intelligent individuals are also more likely to stay awake later at night. From an evolutionary perspective, humans historically avoided darkness because it represented danger. But intelligent individuals may be more comfortable adapting to behaviors that differ from ancestral instincts. This may partly explain why highly intelligent people are often more active at night. And since many introverts already prefer calm and low stimulation environments, the overlap between introversion, intelligence, and nighttime productivity becomes even stronger. But are extroverts less intelligent? Absolutely not. This is where many people misunderstand the debate. Intelligence is incredibly complex. There isn't just one kind of intelligence. Some people excel in analytical reasoning. Others thrive in emotional intelligence, leadership, communication, adaptability, persuasion, or rapid decision-making. Extroverts often possess strengths that introverts may struggle with, including social intelligence, networking ability, verbal spontaneity, leadership under pressure, group collaboration, adaptability in dynamic environments. In fact, many successful entrepreneurs, politicians, performers And executives are extroverts precisely because they excel in social situations. The modern world rewards different forms of intelligence depending on the environment. A quiet researcher working alone in a laboratory and a charismatic CEO leading thousands of employees may both be highly intelligent, just in completely different ways. The biggest misconception about introverts. One of the biggest myths online is the idea that introverts are automatically deep thinkers, while extroverts are shallow. That's simply not true. Personality type does not determine someone's worth, capability, or intelligence. There are brilliant extroverts. There are unintelligent introverts. And there are millions of people who fall somewhere in between. Human personality exists on a spectrum, not in rigid categories. Most people actually display both introverted and extroverted tendencies depending on the situation. Are introverts smarter? The most accurate answer is sometimes, but not inherently. Research does suggest there are meaningful connections between introversion and certain cognitive strengths like reflection, concentration, analytical thinking, and verbal intelligence. Introverts may also spend more time engaging in intellectually enriching activities like reading, writing, and introspection. But intelligence is far too complex to reduce to a single personality trait. Being introverted does not guarantee high intelligence, and being extroverted certainly does not mean someone is less intelligent. At the end of the day, introverts and extroverts simply excel in different ways. One thrives in depth, the other thrives in connection, and the world needs both. So the next time someone asks, "Are introverts smarter?" the real answer is much more nuanced than a simple yes or no. Because intelligence isn't about how loud or quiet you are. It's about how effectively you think, adapt, learn, create, and understand the world around you. And that can look very different from one person to another. So what do you think? Do you believe introverts are generally more intelligent than extroverts? Or do you think intelligence has nothing to do with personality at all? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.